Yo, it's me. It's me. It's
Saizan Z. I love this guy. Saizan Z is making a name for himself.
He's really killing it out there. I'm not a red R.
I'm going to show the... Yeah, can we get that up? I'm not a red R. Studi, we've been singing this all week. There's this listener named Studi who is, in fact, a cock R spaniel. And he made this little rap song where he goes, I want to show the world I'm not a red R. And we've been singing that. Now, anybody else go around there? I'm not a red R.
You got to do this Studi accent.
Can we find the song? What is it called?
I think you have it. Just search Studi.
Slop top. What do we got here? Red R. Oh my God, I found it. Yes. Can we just listen to it? Because this part's been stuck in my head for days. Where he goes, I'm not a red R. We got to get this because this is one of those things I want you all saying around the house, okay? This is that guy, Studi. You've heard me talk about him. A listener of ours. He got together with Tappin' Skins, and they wrote me a song for my birthday. Do you remember this? Here it is. We'll listen to it one more time while we have a little celebratory drink. Thank you guys for coming out with me here at Redbar. Tappin' Skins. This is real. Cheers.
Ribbit. Roadster with the tootie. I'm playing with your girl's booty. Like I'm playing Call of Duty. Go make. I'm that duty. Studi with the bars. Yeah, I cop heat. Yeah, I join scars. With my boy Mike, he brings the stars. Trying to show the world I'm not a red R.
Wow. That needed a should have went up there.
Yeah.
I think so, right? The beat should have went up there.
We should
I
do
love
a
that.
remastering of this.
A remastering. Trying to show the world I'm not a red R. That's sweet. They're not going to believe you.
I cop heat. Yeah, I join scars. With my boy Mike, he brings the stars. Trying to show the world I'm not a red R. Studi with the bars. Yeah, I cop heat. Yeah, I join scars. With my boy Mike, he brings the stars. Like trying to show the world I'm not a red R.
A red R. That's what we call our retards here. Other shows, you know what other shows do? People go, man, this show's got so many retards. No. Other shows just allow their retards.
They just pretend the retards are regular
Yes.
guys.
So most shows actually have way more R's than this, but they don't highlight their R's. They actually love their R's. Here at Red Bar, we hate our R's. You're lucky that I'm identifying these R's to you. Go watch Tom Segura's Nothing But Mommy Cast, or whatever you call it. The whole thing's R's. They depend on their R's, and other hosts are afraid to call out R's because those R's are paying them. Here at Red Bar, we don't care if you're paying. We don't care if you're black, Chinese, Puerto Rican, or Haitian. We just want you to be happy. So we've got some more stuff here today, and we're going to show you, the theme of today's show is people really cracking under the pressure. And we've got some great examples. Joey Diaz, Bobby Lee, and Cassandra. Bobby Lee is dating... Do you know comedian Bobby Lee, the Chinese comedian? Everybody loves this guy. Cute guy, very funny. He's on the show Bad Friends. And I love this because my whole career I've been told, no, Mike, not Bobby Lee. He's one of the good ones. He's great. Oh, Mike, don't make fun of Bobby Lee. We love Bobby Lee, the slept king. Even when we were in the, remember when the comedians were doing a crowdsourcing night where they were all on Zoom and building money to help the comedians? The entire night, everyone in the chat was, asking for Bobby Lee. I get this all the time. Yeah, Mike, all the comedians are gay, but Bobby Lee. Oh, Bobby Lee. And I understand when you watch all these other comedians who really don't, and I want to use this lightly, comedic talent. When you see comedic talent, if you're going to label yourself a comedian, you got to be a comedy guy. And Bobby Lee is a comedy guy. Like, no matter what his path was,
he exudes comedic energy.
And I'm not saying these people are good, but Will Ferrell, comedy guy. There are other people that are comedy guys, right? You could just... They were born to be comedy guys. Joe Rogan's not a comedy person. He just happened to get into comedy. Andrew Santino is not a comedy person. He just happened to get into it. And if you follow the lead of this stand-up comedian nonsense and do all the steps, you'll be there. In 6 years, if you're not a complete retard and you just follow the rules of comedy and do what the guy who came before you did, you'll be fine. You'll be Andrew Santino in 12 years if you've got the nerve. But Bobby Lee's one of these comedy guys, so I think what happens with people, I think why they think he's so amazing is because compared to Chris D'Elia, Joe Rogan, Tom Papa, and all these bores, Bobby comes off as a real character, a real, you're seeing somebody here. This is a figure, a guy. And I've always said, like, yeah, he's the best of the worst. Yeah, but that doesn't mean you got to bow down to this guy. And on the last episode of Cassandra and Bobby, he threw away his whole audience. And the audience has turned. And we've got some clips here. You're not going to believe what Bobby Lee did. Now, this is great. I don't know if Bad Friends is going to go on anymore. And this is our first in the installment of today's theme, Comedians Are Crumbling. They're having mental breakdowns. They're turning in on themselves. They're doubting everything that they were. And this one is a little strange. His girlfriend, this Cassandra, and you might know her from Wayne's World 1. You asshole, she says. Remember Wayne? She's on the phone with like her manager, and he's telling her about this big, deal that they want to sign. And Wayne is sitting there in his underwear, and he like makes a thong out of his underwear, and he dances. She finally gets off the phone and goes, "You asshole." Cassandra. Now, I don't know what her real name is. That's fucking Bobby Lee's wife. We've got some Bobby Lee coverage to get the ball going here. This has more dislikes than likes. They've turned down Bobby Lee. Let's see what we're looking at here. Tiger Belly. Uh-oh. Tiger Belly. Includes paid promotion, of course. 4.9 thousand dislikes.
Wow.
To 3.7 likes. Interesting. I did not think people were going to turn. I thought they would applaud this. So this really gives us hope. Some of these comments are, talk about making this whole thing about yourself. Damn, this was unlistenable. Overboard with the virtue signaling.
Uh-oh.
And no, I'm not racist. LOL, Khalyla, please don't make this about yourself again. So an hour of Khalyla saying that this podcast is racist when it's the complete opposite? Okay. So watch what they did. This is shocking, right? We got some codes. Let's just play it from the beginning. Some people might not know how Tiger Belly goes, and I'll explain it. I'll show you. You're going to love it. Even the word tiger is racist. That's a racist song they're playing. Here's Cassandra. Okay, so that's Bobby. Come on, what are you doing? Hello. Why would you do that? You all saw me just hit pause, right? And it exited me out, and it did all that. Here's Bobby Lee's, looking great with the long hair. Here's Cassandra. Yes, I know her name's Khalyla. I like to change names on the show. And here is a problem. And no, not because of his race. See this guy on the bottom of the screen? That is, I don't know who this is, but it's an intern. I call these people interns. Let's cut to our interns real quick so you could see. Hey, Mike, you are the best boss. Everything you do is good. Ba 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 ba, boo 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 boo, boo 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 boo, da 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 da. So we have interns too, and you've noticed all these shows have an intern guy now. And they're all kind of these like short guys. They're young. They're internet savvy guys, but they're not full out nerds. They seem to be on Twitter all day, and they all have something in common, from H3H3's interns to the Culture Corner guys that I showed you to Bobby's. They're all these young, smug Twitter kids. Okay? Is anybody with me here? Do you understand? I don't know who these guys are, but they all kind of are the same. Every intern is the same, where they all kind of roll their eyes at the show host. So what's happening is every show is doing their thing, and these guys who do the show don't really get into the comments as much as the interns. And I think these interns, like this Asian kid here, They're on Twitter all day. They're in the YouTube comments all day. They're in the Reddits for their show all day. And they hear how these people talk about the host, and it actually starts influencing how they view the hosts. And then these guys start getting smug and kind of doing, like, look at his face. It's kind of a, he knows best. And you know what? And you see this, The Fighter and the Kid has these guys, all these shows.
Even
King getting the sting. H3, King get a sting it. They all got these guys. And you know what's starting to happen? The hosts are starting to play to the interns. They've got no chat, right? I've got an internet chat. Thousands of people able to speak to me at a drop of a dime. Internet chat. They're playing to an audience of one or two. They're interns. So when Bobby Lee is doing his show for the last year, he's just looking at some smug Chinese kid here. And you start going off their reaction, okay? And this is the same for Brendan Schaub and, of course, The Fighter and the Kid and all these shows that have an intern there who's on Twitter all day being a smug little guy. You're starting to go, well, oh, he didn't laugh at that, but he laughed at this. Oh, he rolled his eyes at this. Oh, he poo-pooed this. Oh, he's against this and against this. And it's subconsciously happening. That's the audience. So they're starting to skew their content. Listen to this. This is really alarming. They're starting to skew their content towards the audience. How do I know this? It's the comedian way. When the comedian goes on stage, he gets a feel for what? The crowd. And they play off the crowd. They go in the direction of the laugh. So when you're staring at this guy all day and he's the only guy you're staring at, if he doesn't laugh at something, it's training your mind to say that's not funny. The stuff he does laugh at, vice versa. It's training your mind to think that's good. They don't even realize they're letting these smug, stupid, nobody interns skew their whole shows. I really think this is happening. I think this is happening. I want to see what people say. They don't even know. On this show here.
I think you're right.
I think I'm right. Just wanted to see. We got a 45-second delay. I just wanted to see what they said. I want to see OMGs. I want to see all caps. Holies is what I want to see. Ooh, these people. I'm telling you. Now I understand why you just pick one Asian to stare at. So let's see what happens here. Tigerbelly 248, Simpletons Speaking.
Oh, welcome to another episode of Tigerbelly. I'm your captain, Bob, and we've got Khalyla, everyone in the room. We have this cast of characters. We've got Gilbert, George. We also have got little Rudy here. I apologize for my attitude earlier.
You to see
Rudy.
his smugness.
We weren't even going to do a podcast
Thank you.
today because of what's going on.
We weren't going to do a podcast today because of what's going on, and you hear this a lot. You know, why aren't you able to keep your podcast about what your podcast's about? And everybody doesn't have to be a newsman for this. Anytime there's an incident in the world now, every comedian thinks they need to be a serious newsman. We have serious people. Your role is to be you. And you're not being you. You're forgetting what the purpose of your show is. You've changed your whole show. And this is what I mean about these guys haven't been podcasting long enough to understand this. You can't, just because the news changes, you can't change your entire show based on your emotions. Conan O'Brien can't just decide tomorrow that it's a serious news show. You keep the format going. You keep being yourself. These guys, they're too weak to do it. They let themselves be overtaken by the emotion of the news and all the things that they're reading, and they're like sponges. They just suck it all up and they become what they read. They really don't have any power over their domain. And this is where they're going to really lose a lot of people. You can't do a podcast. You can't just go, I know there's a lot of bad stuff going on in the news. Here's a fun time for everybody here today. People need a fun time, and you comedians are really dropping the ball here. Let's hear some more.
On our planet, and especially in this country, it's very volatile out there. It's polarizing. You know, I'm a lighthearted, goofy, silly comedian who says,
and you're allowed to be. Don't let him and her change. They actually have no business here. Okay? No business. And especially when they start telling you what to do or making you feel guilty. It's fine to have them here as your underlings. They work for you. The only reason anyone is here, Bobby, is because of you. So don't start listening to them. They want to start their own fucking show. They could go do that, this smug asshole and your bitch wife. Let them start their own show. You be you.
Outlandish things to get a response. You know, I don't have a college education.
You're gonna love this.
But what I do have is, you know, I look at the world around me. I absorb information like other people do. You know, I see the George Floyd, the video, right? I look at it.
You're allowed to not even know who George Floyd is. You're one of our wackos. You're allowed to be a fucking wacko. Now, I like how the wackos are breaking character now to be serious. You don't have to. This would be like, you know what I mean? Like, you're allowed to, like, still be your character for a few weeks. I got to cut to Khalyla. Let's cut to Khalyla. Let's show you what she did. And it doesn't take long. 7:50 in. And this is his co-host, if you didn't know this. It's his girlfriend co-host. Now, I knew she was trouble when she got her breast implants removed. When Bobby first met Khalyla, she had these big fucking nice knockers. That was her thing. I mean, she had these big tits and she would wear those tank tops where only your breasts are holding up the tank top, you know? And it would be very like, it was the only reason anyone ever looked at her. I mean, really, her face is kind of, but she had these big fucking knockers and she had a skinny body and she came off. When you have breast implants, it changes your whole thing. It's so funny how that happens. A pair of breast implants can turn any woman. It just makes you think that there's a sexy thing going on here. She got her breast implants removed, I think, last year. This is like when a woman chops off all her hair. And
Maybe
decides,
she had a sore back.
I don't give a fuck. It's anti-fun. When you chop off all your hair, you're delivering a statement to the man. We're done here. Legs closed. Closed for business. And it's a sign of Great Depression. And this woman, Cassandra, from the little I know about her, goes through Great Depressions, huge epiphanies, and giant manic ups and downs constantly. You got a lot of people talking to you this week who go through manic ups and downs. You got a lot of people talking to you who are fooled by the emotions that they're having. They don't know how to interpret this. You got a lot of people who are taking something, a lot of people who feel very guilty, and I'm not talking about white guilt. What you're going to see here today, and part of my big theme today, is that influencers, and especially people who make a lot of money, who know they don't deserve the money, have an extreme amount of guilt about that they've been bottling up. And an incident like this George Floyd happens. And what you're seeing here is these comedians and influencers who have so much money, who know they didn't earn it. They feel like the microscope, like the magnifying glass is on them. And there's something triggering them where they're going, I feel like a fraud. I feel like I'm going to be outed. I must dedicate my life towards this movement to show people that I'm actually of value. You know, they've spent their whole careers, not Bobby Lee, but her, they got money for nothing and chicks for free. They know this. Logan Paul is a great example. He spent his whole career saying nothing and making a lot of money saying nothing and a lot of money scheming. When something like this happens, it's not just white guilt that they feel. It's all around guilt. And they start going, I need to make changes because I feel like I'm going to be exposed here. And I feel like I haven't earned this lifestyle. So I better do something that shows I'm a worthy person here. And you know what? I need to use my platform to make change. I need to do it all in one day. It's been 4 days of George Floyd, and they're literally nonstop panic posting about, you know, you're going to dig yourself a hole here. They're convincing themselves that they're going to start a life of activism. Oh, no, I'm going to dedicate my life to stopping injustice. Are you, though? Or next week, when this is out of your system, are you going to go back to being a selfish fuck that just takes without giving? You know in your mind that you're not doing the right thing. You know you're not giving the public any good service. So when something like this happens, oh, that guilt starts bubbling up. And you're seeing people break down because they know that the walls is closing in and that clock's ticking. And they feel like frauds, right? They feel like frauds. I don't feel like a fraud, okay? So you don't see me groveling and begging and on my knees, please, please, please. I know I've given the world the light. These people, not so sure. They're not so sure that they earned these positions. So they're terrified and they feel so guilty. And they've done, well, according to the public, they've done nothing. You're going to hear this Khalyla talk as if she enslaved a black person. You're going to be sitting here going, what did she do that she feels so guilty? I don't know. But maybe she's just done nothing. Let's hear this.
Myself, I suppose. I'll tell you my experiences.
You're going to love this.
I gave myself pass after pass after pass. Immigrant mom. Gave myself a pass. Grew up in a third world country. Gave myself a pass. Went to a predominantly black high school. Gave myself a pass. Have a black best friend, gave myself a pass. Dated black men, gave myself...
Keep your eye on that intern, too. You know, again, the guy's had a life of privilege. And because he's like half Asian, he's going to pretend that he's like part of the struggle. Are you kidding me? Look how cushy you have it. You have every computer product known to man. And your dad's bought you. You're great. Look how healthy you are. Look how great of a school career you've had. And then he's going to pretend, oh, yeah, I've been through it too. Oh, please, you've been through the ringer.
A pass. I gave myself a pass and exempted myself from any type of introspection. And I gave myself a pass from possibly checking myself about all these little insidious, bad racist habits that I've picked up along the way.
Bad racist habit? You're going, whoa, you've picked up bad racist habits along the way? Now, this is startling. You go, what have they done? And on the surface, they've done nothing. But as I looked into this more, oh, wait, maybe these people are feeling guilty because maybe they are racist. Maybe in their own minds, they've actually looked down on other races, and that's why they're saying, I've made mistakes my whole life. I feel so bad. Why would you feel so bad and so guilty if you've never done anything?
The only thing you've ever done is tell racist jokes and you know that it's a joke.
Yeah, why would you feel so guilty?
Coming from?
You're going to hear this. I think these people really do look down on other races. Which is weird because you're coming from, I mean, to me, these guys are as race people as you could get. You know, I don't see one white in the room. I don't know what this is. But I didn't know that all these mixed Chinese people were going through such crises. Listen to this.
I'm willing to wear the black hat. I think that all of us should be wearing a black hat. I think we should all be ashamed of ourselves. I think that we've been really defensive about, no, I'm not racist. I'm not racist. Yeah, we fucking are. Have we made mistakes on this podcast? So many. When we call them mud Asians. So many. When we make fun of Indians. So many. When we call black people greasy. So many.
Do you see what people are doing? So they're terrified. They're really terrified that somebody's going to come kill them. And they're just... You know, and really the people who watch this show, they know Bobby Lee's not racist. First of all, you're Chinese. Nobody looks at a Chinese person as a racist. There's nobody out there looking at you guys and going, oh, your time's coming.
Actually, I thought Chinese people were the most racist against blacks.
Of course, but I mean, as far as the world goes, no one's paying attention to you right now. They got a lot of white cops to go through before they get to this woman Filipino person. So to live in this type of fear right now, day 4 into a march is a little over the top. But listen, this gets worse. Remember, a lot of people watch Tiger Belly because they like this type of humor. They're now vowing and dedicating that type of humor is done. They are now a woke show that's just going to tell you about what's right. And, I've been talking about this for a while. Everyone needs to be the serious, mature, justified right person. There's nobody who's willing to just be a goof anymore. They all need to be looked at as, whoa, this guy's really mature and he really knows what he's talking. This is a show. Why does the show have to be mature? Let's hear some more.
All I'm saying is...
You're going to love this.
Did we say gook?
Gook, yes.
Yeah.
Look, all I'm saying is, I can only speak for myself, and I'm telling you guys right now, I'm sad, I'm confused, but most importantly, I'm just so ashamed of myself.
So ashamed.
I'm ashamed that I've exempted my own loved ones from their own racism because I thought that they were inherently good people and that should be enough. I'm ashamed that they exempted me from my own bad behavior. I'm ashamed of having friends I never check, from never reaching out in my own community and trying to do little things. I'm ashamed that I've been quiet. I might as well, this is how I view myself. I just might as well be that same person watching black people get lynched during Jim Crow. That's me.
Whoa! What did you do? You might as well be, just because you're not, what are you didn't tase a cop? I don't know what these people think they have to do. They're being so hard on themselves. And I'm going to consider her a white woman.
What did they do?
White women are being so hard on themselves. And the only thing I could come to the conclusion of is, yes, you have a lot of inside guilt. You have this life without, you got this life without earning it. And I think it comes down, you see, the blonde white women are the most, they don't stop. I mean, Amanda Cerny, all these people will not stop posting. And I think it's because since the age of 2, they've had every door held open for them. Every man comes up to them, oh, hello, beautiful. Every uncle.
Hot white woman is the easiest life on earth.
Hot white woman is the most privileged thing you could be. They
More
literally,
privileged than white guy,
they don't have to be smart. They don't have to have a good personality. They didn't have to go to school. They get life and go on Instagram. Hot white woman is being rewarded with millions of dollars. If you're a semi-hot white woman, if you're a white woman that's not obese,
I don't even think you have to be that.
you don't have to be hot.
The easiest
You just have to have the nerve. You can't be obese, and you got to just be one of those people who posts on Instagram a lot. You could be a millionaire. And I think hot white women, and I'm going to throw her in this category because she lives that lifestyle of the white Instagram woman, they feel the most guilt because their life has been handed to them, whereas black people's lives has been shackled to them. So, and whereas I don't feel like my life's been handed to me. It definitely has been handed to me much easier than that 3-pointer from Scottie Pippen to his boy. I'll tell you that right now.
My life has been handed to me by you.
Exactly. But, as far as privilege goes, in the way that they're saying it, these women probably feel the most guilt. And that's why they're throwing temper tantrums. And they're in hysterics. They don't stop posting. And nobody's like, they're posting like every 5 minutes about a black thing, like Martin Luther King. Nobody is even calling them out for anything. Like, they could literally just go ghost. No one's going to fucking know. No one's going to care. But there's something in them where they're fucking nervous. Something in them is telling them that the walls are coming crumbling down. And you're seeing this incarnate right here in dumb, stupid Bobby Lee. No smarter than a fortune cookie is sitting here allowing this woman to throw away his entire comedy career because she didn't do enough work. Let's see what happens.
I've sat here quietly because I've been so afraid of having difficult discussions I'm scared of misspeaking. I'm scared of saying the wrong thing. I'm scared of criticism. But I think that I'm done with that. Like, I am absolutely a big ball of useless dust
They're
on
all
the
saying
ground.
this too.
And I have
every one of them is saying, I give up, I surrender. You tell me what to be. This is really what they're doing. Listen, we're not knocking any of these problems. We're not, on the cops' side.
Of course not.
We're calling out the liars, the actors, the con men. This is what we do here at the bar. And you'll notice what white women are doing. They're surrendering. They're saying, I am nothing. You tell me what I need. Because they don't even know what to do. They're so panicked. And still, we don't have the answers to why they're so panicked. But you'll see white people going, please, consider my brain erased and you just tell me how to be and I will be that as long as I'm not accused. Please. What are you so afraid of?
In the blackface video of the guy that we were watching earlier, the girl beside him, it was a white woman that had a sign that said, muted and listening.
Yes. Oh, well, that's normal. That's like a phrase. That's not even crazy.
I love that one.
But here she goes. I'm a ball of dust. I'm nothing. You tell me what I need to be. And to me, if I was a psychologist, which I like to consider myself one, I would say that there's something else going on here. Some people would go, but who cares, Mike? Why are you taking away from the people? Because I'm a Red Bar host, not a Black Lives Matter journalist. All right, I do Red Bar. All right? Just because something changed in the world doesn't mean I'm going to change my whole show or what I'm good at. This is what I do. I go over liars. Comedian liars. All right, let's see what happens next.
Criticism. But I think that I'm done with that. Like, I am absolutely a big ball of useless dust on the ground.
Dust. Listen.
And I have completely ripped my own ideals apart. I don't like who I've become. I don't like the friends that I've kept.
Wow.
And I want to change. And
who? Which friends?
Yeah, which friends? Santino, Brendan Schaub, Rogan, Andrew Schultz. Which one is it? Look at Bobby Lee. He really... I wish I was Chinese sometimes. With a huge rod. Am I right, fellas? It's the only bad thing about being Chinese is that weak rod. You know, this guy's got a pinky sticking out there. It's like this. See this? And you see how the pinky can curl down? Ugh. I saw a Chinese guy's wang once. His Justin Wang. I was in the...
Was it consensual?
It's so sick. Like a Chinese person's dick might be the most disgusting, maggot-like worm you've ever seen. It's not normal.
Okay.
That being said, their brains are normal. Here we go.
I don't have the power to do much else than to fix my fucking heart.
Oh my God.
Like, I want to fix my heart. I don't want to continue to say it's justifiable to be racist just because for the sake of comedy. I don't want to be that person anymore.
Are you walking around all day thinking, fuck black people?
Yes. No, well, I don't know. I think people are
this kind of reaction.
I think people are so afraid. And again, you know, my whole stance on these people
is this like a YouTube apology video?
Yes.
Where they're over the top crying?
Jules, what's happening here is all these people, they didn't get into this business because they had something on their mind that they needed to tell you. These comedians, and the whole reason I focus on comedians is because they're in the business of being liked, attention-seeking losers. Their whole life, they were losers. So they get into comedy because they want everyone to like them. It truly is what it's about. I've watched them on stage, and you hear them say it all the time. The applause, the applause. They literally, it's so sick, they get on that stage, not because they have something important to tell a crowd, but because they want to look out and see 100 people going like this to them. That's literally what they want. So when something like this happens, the phonies are going to be the first ones to crack. Because now that racial jokes are out, they're not in fashion, they need to plead with the public and ask the public, what do you want? I promise I'm laying my guns down. I'll do whatever you want. I want to be liked. I want to continue to be popular, and I'm scared to death that somebody might think of me the wrong way in these trying times. And that's what you're seeing here today. The phonies are crumbling.
by virtue of growing up Filipino, racism is so deeply embedded into our comedy that
Culture.
it's after a long time it feels benign. It feels like something that's justifiable, but it's not.
You got to hear this. This gets way worse.
It's a small seed that eventually turns into a rotten fruit. And I've gave myself, and I think that's ultimately it. Like, I'm ashamed that I've been so useless in all of this.
And remember, this is a comedy podcast. All the people who signed up are here to watch Bobby Lee be the slept king. That's what they call him. The man. How is this the man? And you, sir, you have no business even being on Redbar's screen, let alone theirs. You're nothing. You're useless. How could you say that to
I don't know why he had to be on the screen for
Why does he
the
need to be here? I'm telling you, the interns of these shows need to be fired. The only reason they're not being fired is because they have too many passwords that the hosts can't get into.
You should do a little circle with me on the screen like that.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Neener, neener, neener.
Oh, you're making fun of neener, neener, neener. If you dye your hair jet black and become Philippinized, I will let you be on the screen.
Deal.
Here we go.
And I just wanna be better. And
Look at Bobby Lee. He knows
I just don't
this
really
sucks.
have much else to say because
That's the end of the episode.
Khalyla,
Thanks for listening.
Hold on. Give it out to Khalyla, our leader.
but also like it's there's this like Ilani, Steve's girlfriend. She's very bright, she's Filipina, and we've been like talking about it, and we've been going back and forth about it, and she sent me this quote.
How is this? See, I'm very suspicious of people that have done nothing wrong. They're not involved. Why are you crying? How is this bringing you to tears? I understand. Listen, things need to be done. Things need to be changed. Why are you having a breakdown over this? Can't we change things? Can't we make right of these wrongs without having mental breakdowns and being so angry and filled with tears? Something else is going on. I've been watching these events, and people are very depressed. People are very guilty. People are very insecure. And when these events come, the stress piles on, and they're so stressed out, they're so confused, and they're so guilty that they associate all of their problems with the problem being presented to them today. So, you see this on the daily with Trump. You see it with every big thing. And anytime they could blame all of their own issues on something and take it out on a single target, they're going to use that opportunity. You're seeing, it's fine to react. It's not fine to overreact. When you overreact, you drive a lot of sane people away. Because when sane people watch this, they go, well, this is a load of shit. So maybe whatever she's associated with is a load of shit. So it's bad for a movement. It's bad for a movement to lose your cool. It's way better for the movement, for the leadership in the movement to explain to you civilly, rationally, and without panic what's going on, and then maybe you'll get on board. But when they're losing their minds, you go, okay, you seem like an emotional mess. I'm staying far away from this. You're creating more enemies than friends here. Now, the reason you're seeing the majority of people go along with all this is because the majority of people happen to be the most emotional, okay? And especially the majority of the people on the internet. We've seen them every time. They wanted to do it with COVID, but it was hard to pin down a villain with COVID. They tried.
The non-mask wearers.
The non-mask wearers, they're going to fight any time you can pin down a villain. So they finally got one, the police, and I'm not saying they're wrong, but she is taking, I'm going to use her example. She's taken the 29 years of her life and every bad thing that's happened to her and putting it into this movement. And that's where it's all going to fall apart. You got to stick to what's going on here. You can't become an emotional mess. You could probably get this fixed in a much shorter time. Imagine if a few guys were trying to build a house, but they couldn't stop crying. You can't work power tools while you're fucking crying. You gotta be able to keep your cool. What do they call that? Adrenaline control. Should we skip ahead here to 2140?
2140, she just talks about it a little more.
2140. Let's see what happens here. And this really carried on. Again, the people are mad. Let's hear some more.
Because I had called Santino about some of the comments I was getting on the Bad Friends feed.
Santino.
Right? Bobby's dumb. He's uneducated. All this and this and this and this and this and this. Yeah. You're right.
You know what, though? Here's what I think about this.
You're absolutely right.
I am feeding myself to the wolves. I am willing to take any form of criticism, whatever fucking verbal beating you want to give at me. Wow. I will read it all, and I will learn from it as best as I can. I am just a useless ball of dust on the ground, like I said. I'm willing to start from scratch and reshape my heart and reshape my head. I don't think anything that I've done thus far in my life has been of any help to anyone.
See? And remember, she's an example. I'm using her as an example as to why many women are throwing tantrums. And many men. Many men. I have been, what did she say about her life? I have been nothing my whole life. I've never been helpful my whole life. Yeah, you've been a big pair of tits, haven't you? And you've taken a lot of free dinners. And you've been a butt woman. But you haven't done shit with your life, have you?
I think anything that I've done thus far in my life has been of any help to anyone.
I've never thought that anything I've done in my life, and this is what it is.
That's not even true.
Of course not, but well, it is. I mean, it really is. When you're talking about a person who feels no purpose, a person who feels like they haven't connected or given anything, this is why they're having these breakdowns. This is the exact same reason Logan Paul is doing what he's doing. Because he feels like everything that he's given has kind of been shit, fake, phony, and it has. He's never really connected or said anything that's really been on his mind. Same with everybody. And this incident in time has really brought that to the forefront. Okay, it's like they smoked a big fucking dab, and it's all hitting them at once. But the dab doesn't wear off. It's day 5, and they still feel like useless twats. That's on you. Don't yell at me because you didn't do anything to make yourself feel good your whole life.
And I'm willing to start from scratch. So if that means people shitting on what I have to say or from whatever side, left, right, and center, fuck it. Like, I'm willing to take it all because I'm finally ready to have those difficult conversations that I wasn't willing before because I was too scared to not be liked. I don't care to be liked anymore.
People aren't willing to have difficult conversations. They're willing to have approved conversations by the mainstream. I'm not going to bring up the examples of difficult conversations, but you've got about 70 difficult conversations that have never been mentioned by either side anywhere because they're too difficult. All right. Here's like a good example of a difficult conversation. Somebody coming out and saying, if you're poor, don't have a kid. Ever. Stop having 6 kids if you're poor. Stop having 1 kid if you're poor. Hey, if you're 16, don't have a kid. Stop having kids. You know, Adam Carolla says it. Literally, you keep thinking every year they're finally going to catch on and go, oh, I get it. An untrained kid will probably grow up to make a lot of the domino effect of an untrained kid. This is what I call it, untrained. Pick up any dog. Pick up any dog from any vet and just let it be him. Don't tell him to sit down. Your house will be destroyed. It'll scratch everything up. Don't yell at him ever. Just let him do his thing as a person. You've got thousands of people, black, white, all the colors, being raised by nobody. That is an untrained kid. He's going to cause crimes. He's going to cause problems. He's going to be in arguments. He's going to do everything wrong. He's going to weigh down the government. He's going to cost everybody money. But not one person ever in my lifetime has even suggested that stopping having kids, if you can't take care of them or if you didn't take a kid's training course or there's no license that you need to have a kid, and they shut you down with that argument right away and they say, oh, no, what do you want to be like China? What do you want to be like China? There's no talking even about it, no conversation. Every one of these fucking problems that I see these people on their knees crying about is caused because someone had a baby when they weren't supposed to. So this is why I'm not partaking in the world's nonsense. They're not ready to have difficult conversations. This race stuff ain't a difficult conversation. It's a approved difficult conversation. You want to have a difficult conversation about all the Earth's problems, you got to start with, why are people having kids when they have no business having a fucking kid? Until I see someone say that, you're living in Goofy land with Michael Goofy. People
Dr.
really,
Michael
and
Goofy.
even people around, it's like, they feel like it's like an argument, like a hack, like atheist type of argument. Like, that's too much. I don't want to get into it. Talk about being scared to talk about the facts, bro. People should not be having kids unless they're professional kid-raising people, all right? You should have to go to college. You can't even be a fucking, lawyer's assistant without going to college. But you could have a fucking human without going to any schooling? You should make it go 4 years of fucking courses to have a kid. Or else we take that kid. All right, we give him to Mike David. You know whose kid is good? Louis J. Gomez's kid. Man, does that kid got a buttery complexion.
That deserves to live.
What a buttery complexion. So, that's what I think. That's why I don't even get involved in conversations, because I'm starting at the beginning. You're having all these arguments here, but you're like, let's go to the root. Let's go to the cause, the source. They don't want to go anywhere near that source. And there's other sources here, difficult conversations. Bringing it back to the Big Bang. Bringing it back to universe stuff. You want to talk about Screwy Louie? Start talking about the universe. Start talking about planets. Start talking about moons and suns and galaxies.
People
and
haven't even considered
multiverses. So, you're all getting hung up on the issue of the day, an issue that needs to be solved, but you're not going anywhere near that source. So until you go near that source, I'm not going to take you seriously. I'm on the outside. I'm still looking at, all right, Khalyla, ruining the show. This tiger belly is fucked. It's over, man. They hate it. And unfortunately, I was right about Bobby Lee. Listen to this. Back to Bobby.
I just want to move, and I want
Find
to
truth.
be of service to all of this.
And I have something profound to say as well. I'm going to learn.
Oh, he doesn't drink.
I want to learn what words actually mean. Hear
Listen
me
to
out,
this. Listen.
all right? I think that I wasn't paying attention in school.
Ew.
But like,
Sorry. This is great. So what's happening here is Bobby doesn't have the will to be his own person. Okay? Not like me. And he decides, I don't really know what to say here because I'm kind of betraying my whole audience here. Isn't that something? To betray your whole audience without taking them with you is such a shitty thing to do. And these new podcasters don't know that. Just because you think you had an emotional epiphany yesterday doesn't mean that everything you've ever said is shit. You're turning on these guys on a dime. They're not with you.
Now, did they think that everybody would be with them on this? I don't
Listen,
know.
if H3H3 did this, everyone would be there with them.
Yep.
But for some reason, and this is why I want to know, who is Bobby Lee's audience? Because they're surprisingly 100% against this. And I'm going, who are they? They're like a little more badass than the H3 audience? Like, who the fuck is Bobby Lee's audience where they're like, fuck this shit, get Khalyla out of here? During this time, you're not even seeing Gas Digital fans say shit like that. Even
Well,
cool.
I'm sure they would if they did pull this.
Well, I don't know. When I first saw this, I assumed everyone's going to go, thank you for taking a stand. This is what people are doing. Like, the whole world is becoming washed. And they're all, oh, thank you for taking. That's what I thought they would do. So I'm surprised that their audience is fully turned. I want to meet these men. Maybe they'd come over to Redbar. Redbar is a little bit more true. I could do, hello, it's me. Hey, is this what you want? Go to go. Is that what you want?
Pretty good impression.
Insensitive during these times? Let's hear a little bit more. And this is where Bobby Lee, you've let this woman talk. Okay, well, we're not going to flame Bobby for her, right? Well, you should. Imagine if I let Jules come on and address you like that. Are you kidding me? She'd be dead before she tells me what to do.
I mean,
so Bobby Lee, here's what Bobby Lee does. And this is where he really fucks himself. He's going to try to take his own stance, but he has really nothing prepared. And everyone knows Donald Trump's slogan is "Make America Great Again." And you've heard a lot of people go, "Make it great again? When was it ever great? It was never great for black people." So he's kind of, Bobby Lee's about to do something like that, but he fucks it up. Watch this. You're going to fucking love this.
I think that I wasn't paying attention in school, but like even a word like great, I don't know what it means. Do you?
So they're like lost. A word like great. Even a word like great, I don't know what it means, because watch this.
Define it. I don't know if I could actually say the sentence.
Right, because we have over 100,000 people dead from this virus, right? The cities are burning, okay? We almost have a depression level economy. But America is great from our president.
Okay, that's where this whole thing falls apart. But America is great from our president, so he's twisting "Make America Great Again." No, Trump keeps saying it's got to be great again. It was great. It's not right now. So you're trying to do this thing, but you didn't really plan it out. And listen to what he goes on and says.
But America is great from our president. What does great mean?
She even knows that this is off.
Is it great now?
And he's going to sit there and pretend like you can, hey, smug boy, this is what you're supposed to interrupt. And she even wanted to interrupt, but she's like, fuck it. Let's just all be retards. Letards.
Because if it's great now, I don't know what the fucking word means.
Look at this.
We're better off? I'm asking you, Gilbert, do you think we're better off?
From what I saw this past weekend, I'm not too sure about that word.
See, he doesn't know. What?
Yeah.
Look at this. Just trying to play along. And you're just sitting there. You've completely shut off because you know he's saying something stupid, but you're not going to say anything. By the way, everything is way greater than it's ever been still, even with all this. I mean, people really don't understand. Imagine being drafted in World War II or anything that came before that was way fucking worse. It is always better. Look where you are. You're ordering Grubhub and Postmates and talking into microphones to make a living. It's pretty fucking great. You know, even with everything that's going on. Imagine these people drafted to the military. Imagine these people having to just fucking die because they're 18. You know, it's really weird how people think stuff is so bad. You know, I'm always one of these guys where, because it started with at an early age, as bad as things get, you realize you could live a normal during badness. And that's great. If you could find yourself alive and breathing and well during a really bad time, you know, I can make myself a victim at any point here, especially with this disease. I could just sit there and cry all day and say, woe is me. But you could still make the best of a bad time. Even in jail, they make the best of a bad time where they're playing cards and laughing eventually.
You know what they should do?
It's not eternal hellfire.
Instead, they should defund the police and then have a draft where they draft random people to be a cop for 1 year.
That would be great.
Pick it
yeah.
out of a hat.
What did they say about cops the other day? That they should... I mean, you're hearing some really... people are just going really crazy with their suggestions here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was fine. We showed you. The cops should have a morning meditation of at least one. They're not becoming gurus, okay? How about we just take care of the problem where they're killing people and beating people up first, and then you could turn them into love gurus.
I'm going to have to go back to school and learn these words again because I don't know what they mean.
My stepdad's going to be really mad at me that I said this out loud.
Uh-oh.
But it's not going to be great with Biden either.
It's not.
It's like...
Oh, yeah, that's another thing that depresses the fuck out of me is that he doesn't even know what planet he's on.
Okay, guys. All right, I think we got a couple more. Are we going to 42?
Just the last one, 4340.
Bobby is going to change. Here we go. Bobby is going to change. He's done nothing wrong, by the way, but he's going to change because Khalyla is going through her no-tit life crisis. This is 4340. She removed her breast implants because she's too much. She don't need that shit. She's more than her body. Are ya? Because now you're about to remove your fans. 4340. Never remove your breast implants. That is just the dumbest shit you could do. Here we go.
Say racist things? Yes. I have. I don't believe those things that I say. I do it in within the frame of a joke.
Liar!
Or to get a response, or to get a laugh.
This Asian kid is teaching him a lesson. Because these guys are on Twitter and Reddit all day, and they think they know everything. You can see this guy's face, right? Isn't this a know? This is just like Ethan Klein's guy. We should do a whole episode on the interns of these shows and really
make a great
deep
YouTube
dig.
video.
Hey, you're on the show. You're a public figure now. You're not just some kid anymore. The smugness and the know-it-all attitude of, oh, I'm on Reddit every day, I'm on Twitter every day, so I'm an encyclopedia of what's real. No. You're bad, and you shouldn't be on camera. You have no business being in this world of entertainment. And they're all picking diverse interns, too. Have you noticed this? It's like they go out of their way. It's extreme guilt. Look at this guy. You think this guy... This is the guy feeding Bobby Lee what he should be saying. And who is he? Where did you get your credentials from?
Zoomed in. It kind of looked like the Virginia Tech guy. Sorry.
Yeah. What is his name? I love that Virginia Tech shooter. He was one of the best school shooters. You stopped Sam Hyde? Sam Cho. No.
Vincent? No.
Cho Sang-wee. You stopped. You assholes. The reason I'm doing this is because you're a snob. I'm snob. You're snob. He's snob. The Virginia Tech shooting was one of the best school shootings we've ever had as far as theatrics go and cinematic feel. But these smug interns taking down your favorite podcast. Mark my words.
But is it insensitive? Yes. Am I going to change? Yes. I am.
He's going to change.
But I think that's all we can really do. And I think that if everyone were to just put their defenses down and say, hey, you know what? I'm a big sack of shit.
We don't feel that way about ourselves, bitch. And this is what's so weird. We don't feel like big sacks of shit. The fact that you do is not our business. I think this really lends itself to some understanding of what's going on here this week. People feel like shit about themselves. They don't feel valuable. They feel like they've cheated the system, and they're here to make you think you're the same as them.
Instead of trying to defend all their morality and say, but I've done so good. I've lived with black people. I have black friends.
I have to say, though.
But
go ahead.
Instead of saying all that, just admit that we've all done and said really fucked up things that have not been positive or
those are some of my best things that I've said. I'm proud of those things. You know how creative you have to be to come up with some of these fucked up things? You know, to worry about this, to have fear about this, to have guilt. Man, that really speaks volumes about yourself. And Bobby Lee is so confused. He's always been so confused. The confused king, they call him. He don't really know. He kind of takes cues from everybody around him to figure out what the hell's going on. You know, that's why I can never get fully behind these people. You need to know who you are to get my respect. You tell us what to do.
Serve this cause at all.
But I do have to say, though, like when I was in Israel and we went to the
and now Khalyla Klein country. Khalyla Klein's coming. Khalyla Klein's coming. All right. This show is depressing to me, this Bobby Lee, but I needed to show you this because this was your hero. This was the one comedian that we could have touched. There's Bobby Lee.
But on the bright side, their fans are very mad.
Their fans are furious.
Accepting this.
5,000 dislikes to 3.7 likes. 3.7 thousand.
And their comments aren't even from like racist people.
No.
The comments are like, I'm black and I love this. Don't change.
Yeah.
Like every comment is like that.
Take a break, girl. Let Bobby take over for a change. Ridiculous. I mean, they're all, every comment's this word Khalyla. I couldn't get past the first part, and I watched this podcast religiously. Could not finish this one. Everyone's heart is in the right place, but this is not why I tune in. Looking forward to Bad Friends on Monday. Pfft. I'm telling you, there's no bad friends. There's only red friends. And this is going to really be the only podcast that survives all this stuff. So you just got to come on over and listen to this shit. This is all you have.